Hello, welcome to Studies in Theatre MOOC program. In this lecture, we are going to have a discussion on digital intervention in theatre. Students, you already know that we have done one discussion in a previous lecture, and this is in continuation to that discussion. So initially what we discussed was that what is digital humanities and how it is part of various fields of academic studies, and how in the new age theatre is said to be influenced by this intervention. This intervention is taking us forward in various directions, and what are the different possibilities. So having discussed that much, now let us see what are the other aspects of this area of discussion. So how to engage audience through digital experiences. So there are two words which are very crucial for this discussion, and I'm sure you are hearing these two words a lot these days. The first word is engaging audience through digital experience, and the second word is immersive experience. Just a second. First word is interactive engagement, and the second is immersive engagement. These two words are being heard a lot when it is the discussion of theatre and its correlation with digital intervention. Now, what is the meaning of interactive? Theatre is becoming more and more interactive because of the new age style of performance. We have seen so many performances in the discussions in other lectures. When you will watch all those lectures, listen to all those lectures, you will see that theatre has become interactive. Fourth wall does not exist in a very rigid sense, and digital medium has provided to break the fourth wall in a more subtle manner. Now, stage has not just remained a proscenium stage, but stage has become a dimension where uh, fourth wall does not exist. Audience is roaming around. They can interact with the actors. They can look at actors from three dimensions, not just in two dimensions. Then immersive experience leads to the understanding of the entire process of theatre staging as a process of real-time three-dimensional activities where the action that is taking place is not just in the front, but we can go inside that action and watch it and move around and feel the sound effects, light effects, actors' movement all around us. So for this, there are mobile apps available. If you download a certain mobile app and those mobile applications are connected to the platforms available and installed in some theatre buildings, and when we go inside those buildings to watch theatre, then the entire building becomes a theatre, and we can move around in different corners of that building. We can see different aspects of that building as the stage, as the place where action is taking place. And we can choose different options on those applications on mobile phones. Then augmented reality enhancements means overlaying digital elements onto the physical performance for an enriched experience. So augmentation means the enhancement of real reality, and this augmentation is done through the applications on computers and programming. This can be watched with the help of these special kinds of glasses that you can see, which are worn on and by the audience, and then audience takes them forward. Virtual reality previews, offering virtual tours and previews of theatre productions, so you can watch theatre while sitting at home. When during the time of pandemic, it was not possible for all the people to go out and watch. In fact, theater had almost shut down. So, digital medium provided a sustenance model to theater because theater could be watched with the help of various gadgets, online medium, online platforms, and mobile phone, YouTube, Facebook, and various other platforms available. And if you just watch it simply like shooting it with a camera, then it may not give you the effect of theater. It may look like a normal video recording, but when you watch it with the help of these kinds of interventions, then that impact of performance is saved, that is retained, and it also is different from watching plays live in a live situation, watching face to face. That is different, but and both of them are comparable. Which one would you we will like to prefer, and for what reason? So that is another thing. So, immersive theater offers audience a unique and interactive form of storytelling. This challenges the traditional notions of theater and invites participants to become active collaborators uh, in the creation of performance. So, audience also become collaborators in the act of performance because of their direct engagement with performers, exploration of non-traditional spaces, and very personalized experiences lead to a state where audience start existing in the heart of the narrative, and they have such an impact on on them because of this experience that sometimes it becomes truly unforgettable. So, audience interaction is the first aspect of this model because these productions involve direct interaction between the performers and audience members, and the interaction can take place in various forms. For example, through conversation, through physical touch, or sometimes some collaboration tasks are given to the audience, some puzzles are given to solve, etc. And then it is in the spaces in which the such kind of theater is being performed is generally non traditional space, because these buildings are these are often staged in venues like warehouses, abandoned buildings, or outdoor spaces. So the environment itself becomes part of the performance. Everything that is there, that becomes part of the performance. It contributes to the immersive experience. Immersive means getting inside something, getting yourself completely engulfed in a process. So perspectives can be varied when you are watching such a theater, because this theater allows members to explore the performance space from multiple perspectives. Rather than sitting in fixed seat, audience members are free to move and explore different areas of the venue, encountering different scenes and characters along the way. So this gives a very unique experience. Personalized experience also is available in this kind of performance culture, because audience can choose to see a certain act in a different way because of the help of applications that they have on their mobile phones. So they assert their choices in their interactions, and also can have very specific experiences out of the narrative. So different audience present at the same time will have different experiences. So the technology is integrated in a very unique sense in this theater, because technology is integrated in this theater because these productions incorporate projections, soundscapes, digital storytelling, and various other elements to enhance the immersive experience. So technology can be used to create dynamic environments, provide additional context or information, and also facilitate the audience interaction. So then the next aspect of this integration is site-specific storytelling. Site-specific storytelling is a very modern kind of theater, especially where technology is used, and this immersive theater often draws inspiration from history, culture, architecture of the performance venue. Site-specific storytelling techniques are used to integrate the performance seamlessly into its surroundings, creating a more immersive and authentic experience. Uh, you know, uh, for example, if you have gone to watch a play which is being staged inside a fort, so and it is a historical play, so about this history of that fort, so the whole environment becomes very meaningful. I remember there when Andha Yug was first staged, it was staged in the fort in Delhi, not the Lal Killa, but Firoz Shah, the fort made by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. And in that fort, Tughlaqabad fort, the play Andha Yug by Dharamveer Bharti was staged, and some because it was long back, it was in 1960s. The stage that was used was the entire canvas of the fort. Lights were used, sound equipment were used, and it gave a very unique kind of immersive experience. So it is, although not a very new thing, this has been happening for a long time now, but there are so many new additions in the immersive experience because of the intervention of technology. Then these three examples, like Hamilton, and which is an American museum musical play, then Sleep No More, and Warehouse. These plays are, very good examples of what you can see in the form of immersive theater, technical theater, digital intervention. I've given you these links here. You can copy these links and watch these videos in order to understand what these theaters are. And at the end of my lecture, I will also play these videos separately for you. So, Sleep No More, it is an award-winning theatrical experience that tells Shakespeare's Scottish tragedy through a darkly cinematic lens. And the story unfolds through an awe-inspiring blend of acrobatic choreography, soundtrack, countless rooms of densely detailed atmosphere. The audience decide where to go and where to see, ensuring that everyone's journey is unique and each visit is different. And this play won in 2011 Drama Desk Award for the unique theatrical experience, and also won Punch Drunk Special Citations at the 2011 OB Awards for Design and Choreography. So this is a very interesting play. Some of its videos are available on YouTube. You can have a look at those videos because they tell you about its not only its intervention in technology, but how this technology was used, especially the videos of War Horse, in which puppetry and digital intervention both have collaborated to give the examples of very interesting kind of theater which you can use for a specific purpose. Now, moving on, what we see about this is what are the challenges that stand before us when we talk of this kind of theatre? Because people are very apprehensive that digital theatre is something that is going to kill theatre. It can become it can become some kind of threat for theatre culture, and theater means doing things on your own, acting it out, using your body, sound, noise, voice, gestures, facial expressions, costume. So there is a human connect that is required to do theater. And what are those challenges, that limitations of digital humanities in performance culture, and how can we retain the maximum element of theater without disturbing its original soul and without taking it as a model of just cinema, or not letting it become another version of cinema. So there is a digital divide, first of all. One challenge is this, because technology is not available to the entire world in an equal manner. Some of us have very good access to technology and digital intervention, and many of us do not have that access. So the world is having a digital divide, and that digital divide means that if technology becomes the mainstream, or digital humanities becomes the mainstream language of theatre, then it is going to deprive many people from carrying forward their performance culture, because they do not have, many of us do not have access to this kind of digital intervention. After talking about the digital divide, let us discuss technical dependencies. So, theater is something which where a human persona is the main agency. But if that is removed and we create a dependence on technology, then we will become dependent for technical expertise, trained people, and supply of electricity, availability of equipment, and these may create problems, because so far we know that theater can be done when we just want to do it. We need our own self, we need a human body, we need an actor to perform that. Everything else is secondary. But if technology is adopted to that extent that it becomes the mainstream agency in the entire game of theatre, in the entire process of theatre, then it may lead to handicap, because we will be then dependent on technical support and expertise, availability of equipment, supply of electricity, etc. So this is one challenge. Then there is a challenge of authenticity versus technology, because balancing the traditional authentic theatre culture and its artistic integrity with technological innovations is a challenge. We need to have understanding of to what extent using technology will not disturb the essence of a particular kind of a theatre practice or a play. Sometimes technology can become overbearing, sometimes that can take away the entire essence of a theatre process. So that has to be also seen as a challenge. Now, these challenges are not baseless challenges, or limitations are not baseless. And there are many more other fears that people have regarding theatre, that theatre may lead digital intervention in theatre. So, those fears and apprehensions are not baseless. But we must understand that what are its methods and ways of doing it, because it all depends on our choices. And that is something that we have to keep asserting in order to sustain theatre practice in its more essential form and in its authentic form. Then, when we look at the future of theatre in our country, especially from the lens of digital intervention, then we see that there are a lot of possibilities, because theatre not only adds to various possibilities of uh, experiments, but it also brings in the aspects of creating an equity among people. Now, what are these possibilities? First is holographic performances. Second is AI driven script writing and character development. And third is immersive virtual reality theaters. So, we can develop these innovations in order to take theater forward with the help of digital intervention. But we must understand that these experiences are going to be very innovative, very fresh, but at the same time, they may be too much for us to bear, in the sense of the aspect that is visible in them, the aspect of money, the aspect of technical expertise, and the aspect of looking at equity of all kinds of representation. Now, having talked about all these things, I must also say that embracing the digital future of theatre and adapting to the technological era will require a couple of things. First is that we have to save innovation and tradition as the basic essence of theatre. We cannot take it in a wholesome manner. We will have to pick and choose. We will have to decide its extent, to what extent digital intervention will be allowed. As I said, the choice has to be ours. The decision maker in the process of theatre making should not be a person who is technocrat, but a person who is an artist, and then he or she may be a technocrat. So it is the artist's eye and artist's mind that will have to do the decision making in the choice of this, in when this kind of choice has to be made. Then this theater leads to audience-centric approach. It prioritizes the engagement and accessibility through digital initiatives. We should welcome this kind of change because there are so many ways in which we can involve audience of varied kind in the watching of theater, in the viewing of theater practices, because theaters are not available in entire country. We still do not have theater culture in small cities in our country. Its digital platform can at least initiate this process of reaching out to those parts of our country where theater is not available and theater enthusiasts are available. Then it can help them. So it can connect the audience. It can have an interaction with the audience, and then that kind of two-way movement where exchanges are taking place, interest is generated. Then this will lead to the requirement for constructing and creating new theatre cultures and making theatre buildings and starting actual theatres also. Then, as I told earlier in the previous lecture, that this is very important for archiving. So we should keep in mind how we can use digital archiving of our theatre properties and the byproducts that are created in theatre. And it is a journey of continuous exploration, because in the times to come technology is going to become very advanced. We cannot sit back and afford to say that we will have nothing to do with theater. We will have nothing to do with technology, because we will have to make a choice. And more and more demand is generating around us to make theater more immersive and interactive. And in addition to that, uh, we will have a competition with so many other fields. Now, having said this, I must also add that digital intervention and theatre which is developed because of digital intervention will only remain one kind of theatre. Digital intervention in theatre or artificial intelligence in theatre is not going to take away theatre in totality. Theatre will remain in its essence. These aspects will remain some kind of theatre practices where we can choose, decide, and enhance our impacts by bringing in the use of technology. So this is about embracing the digital future of theatre. Now it's up to you students to make use of this discussion. Try to think in what directions can you work upon, so that you also have new ideas to experiment about these things. And this is all that I have to discuss in this lecture. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed this discussion. See you in different lecture.